What's up, Kryptonites? Welcome back to Kryptonite. Hopefully you guys love the new setup I got going on here so you can see the charts nice and easy. You can see me up here in the corner. Guys, I was able to win a Bitcoin trade today. I'm going to be breaking that down, exactly why I got in. It was a pretty risky trade. There wasn't a high risk to reward, to be honest, but I was able to pull it off. So I'll also show you what I'm looking for in the short, medium, and long term for Bitcoin and a couple other assets. Gosh, I really don't like my hair right now. I need a haircut. Guys, let's jump into the charts. Let me show you what is going on in Bitcoin. Look, you can just see it right here. Look at this. This is beautiful. This is fantastic. Sorry if that light in the corner is a little harsh. I wish I could block that out, but it is what it is. All right, guys, and of course, Kryptonites. I'm wearing the ultimate knight right here, baby, the Dark Knight, because Batman. It's all about that brain power, baby. He doesn't need no gimmicky powers, dude. He just uses the power of the mind. All right, so let's check things out on Bitcoin. I'm gonna wait till the end to break down my trade, guys. So stay tuned for that. Let's jump into a fresh Bitcoin chart, something a little more clean. I have a lot of different charts going, and let's jump down to the. Let's go to the weekly. Let's go to the monthly here. No, let's go to the weekly. We're going to the weekly. We're starting on the weekly. Okay. So as you can see, guys, we are floating right around our previous all-time high here at around 19,000. We have held it, right? We obviously got a dip below, come up here, and now we are right at that line, guys. We're right at that $19,000 to $20,000 level. And as you can see, we still have 5 days left on this candle, but that right there, if that holds, that's what we like to call a tweezer bottom or tweezer top, when literally they stay the exact same. There's no wick or one's not longer than the other. That's a very powerful bullish signal. If that holds, again, we still have over 5 days for that to hold. So for those of you long-term investors, wait for, if we can get a bullish engulfing off this level with the tweezer bottom, that might be a fantastic buy signal for Bitcoin to make some moves here, because I do think we are getting somewhat close to the bottom, mainly because, you're starting to see people come out saying, Bitcoin's going to zero. You're starting to see people who might not normally follow crypto or finance start to talk about it, start to maybe make fun of you a little bit and say, oh, it's dropping. That is when you are near market bottoms, because we know the psychology of people. And when things get super low, they will just think it's going to go lower. And that's when smart money buys and accumulates, and that's when it goes up. And the same thing at the top. Everyone thinks it's going higher. Everyone thinks it can't go, or it's just going to keep going. And that's when that's the top, right? The top, the euphoric. Everyone thinks it's going to go higher. Same thing at the bottom, guys. Everyone thinks it's going to go lower. Everyone's making fun of you. Everyone thinks it's going to zero. That is a psychology of a market bottom. So I do think that we are close to a market bottom. We might not be there quite yet, but I think we're very close. But right here, guys, this is very powerful, and this could be a very powerful candle on the weekly chart. So stay tuned over the next week to see if that closes. Let's jump down to the daily chart here. As you can see, same thing, nice 3-line strike, bullish engulfing from this resistance line. Now, actually, I kind of had, on other charts, I had this resistance line drawn. I know I mess around with different charts on different time frames. That's why you get kind of different, what, that shouldn't be a resistance line there. And it shouldn't be on that time frame, but again, I'm jumping between different time frames a lot. So as you can see right here, we got support at this area, had a 3-line strike bullish engulfing, and then had this massive run up. Let's find out exactly how much we gained from this point on. We gained a good 24% from that level. So again, you could technically call that somewhat of a double bottom if it holds, which it kind of has already. Nice 3-line strike, bullish engulfing. So this is also another bullish sign. And we'll check on a different chart and see if there's a divergence there. I'm kind of curious myself. 12-hour, same thing. Nice bullish candle there and some follow through. And let's see, I've got some charts that will show us a little bit more, give us a little bit more, some indicators here. Now on the 4-hour, we are approaching our 21 moving average. So I think we're going to get there. I think we've seen this pump here. I think we are going to get all the way up, and we're going to have some. So I am actually looking for some longs here, short term, to get up to that moving average, because I think that we are looking pretty bullish in that regard. Let me find a chart with some divergences, guys, because I want to show you some of the bullish. Sorry, I'm going to scan through my. Oh yeah, so this is another thing on the shorter time frame. we did have a bullish pennant right here, which broke out. And then we did have another bullish pennant here, which broke out. And that's why I think that we're still going up, because the target for this bullish pennant here, if I pull out here, I go to the top of the pennant to the bottom run here. And we go from there. So we still, again, I think we do have some more upside here, back up to around at least our level right here at about 20,800. I'm expecting, I am actually waiting to potentially get in on a long here on a retracement, thinking that we're going to continue moving up to this next support level here. And another confluence for that, if I can find it on the right time frame. Yeah, I think, okay, so this one, yeah, this is another one here. So again, we broke above the support, retested it, again, broke above. We might come back and retest this one. And then we have a nice little VPVR gap right in between there. So I am definitely looking for a potential long position here pretty soon. I hate doing this on such a small screen. Usually I'm looking at my big TV screen. Right now I'm using my small little Mac. So bear with me here while I sort of get used to this new setup here. But I really want to show you guys the divergences, because that's where we see some nice bullish divergences. There's my divergence. Okay. Let me go to the 4 hour. Actually, no, 12 hour had a nice one. So on the 12 hour, as you can see, guys, we made a lower low here, but we made a higher high on the RSI here, and we're seeing some bullish, push up from that. And we'll see, how long that's able to sustain itself. And then where was it as well? I wanted to show you guys. I'll try to be more organized next time with this, guys, because my charts are kind of all over the place sometimes. Okay, so another thing I want you to guys take a look here. So we've had this long-term trend line coming down here, and we've kind of, we broke above it, then came back down, then broke above it, then came back down. But we're kind of holding to this general trend, right? It's just a general trend. It's not necessarily a buy and sell area. But again, look at, we are fighting with that trend once again. Right now we have a 1 hour or 4 hour potential close, still an hour and a half left above that trend line. And that's actually one of the reasons why I took a short earlier in the day, because we got rejected from this trend line. I actually won a short position on these smaller time frames. But all in all, Bitcoin looking very bullish based on those candle formations on the weekly, on the daily. And let's see if we got any divergences going on the longer time. I know we have a nice divergence here on the 12 hour. I'm pretty sure it shows up again on the 4 hour as well. Lower low, higher low. Yep, so we had a nice one on the 4 hour as well. But do the daily. Oh, yep, there it is again. So we got our lower low there, and we've got our higher low there. So nice little bullish divergence there on the daily chart. The weekly chart, not as strong, but I mean, that's a little bit of something here, because if you look at this to this, it's a slight upswing, but this to this is quite large. So I think you could call that a slight divergence there. So again, some bullish signs that, even if this isn't the exact bottom, we're at least going to see, hopefully a bigger relief rally. We kind of got one here, came down, but we could essentially be making sort of a double bottom, right, where you get a fib retracement, close to, a lot of times Bitcoin does this where it retraces almost, we're all the way down to the 236, right? And if we get a strike from there, then we could continue the trend. This happens pretty often, especially in the bear markets. You usually get one leg down, you get a relief rally. It'll come back and almost come back to the exact bottom it was at, and then come back up. Very common thing. I wouldn't be surprised to see that at all. Now, my earlier prediction was that we'd still come down and have like one scam wick down to take liquidity before we go up. I don't know if that's going to happen anymore. This is looking like a pretty bullish thing. So, but this has a way of tricking us, even the best of us. So let's jump into this trade that I took earlier. I want to show you guys how I was able to win it. I thought I had it pulled up here. Oh, this is where I log all my trades right here for you guys in the future there. So let's pull this guy up. And there's probably a faster way to do that, but right, here we go. I'll hopefully get better at this screen thing here. Come on now. Oh, okay. So let me break down this trade for you guys. I was able to win earlier. Not a pretty risky trade. This was sort of a retracement trade. Usually you don't go for these. You want to go with the trend. The trend was up. I took a trend off it. Basically, we had our 21 moving average. We had a nice little wick right there, hammer candle after another rejection there. So I was already thinking like, okay, we might be coming down for retracement. We just got rejected from the 200. Got some follow through, got a nice bearish engulfing candle right there. Looked at the RSI on the 15. We had oversold. The hourly RSI was also kind of saying the same thing. We had kind of touched that oversold area and we're coming down. The stochastic RSI on the 15. No, this was the hourly, I believe. Yep. Hourly was coming down as well. And then I also saw these bearish divergences, multiple bearish divergences there, kind of signaling we were coming down at least for retracement. So I literally took a 1 to like 1 point, I think it was 1 to 1.4 trade, and I just hit it, guys. It was just barely. So these trades are pretty dang risky. I wouldn't advise any new traders to take those kind of trades, but I thought it had enough confluence there, all that stuff, plus that long-term trend line I was telling you guys about that we kind of been fighting with. We were sort of rejecting off that, so that was just an extra confluence for me. So pretty cool to win that little trade. But right now, guys, honestly, I am looking. I do think that we had a bullish pennant here. I think that at the very least we are going to come up to that 4-hour moving average, right, which is still up around 26. So we got a little bit of ways to go, a couple $100 to get there before we might putz around there and maybe get some resistance, maybe come back down for another retracement. So I do think that is a possibility, but I'm looking for longs in the short term to get back up to that 21 moving average. So plus two, we got to hit the top of we had our falling wedge here, and the top target would be up here at this resistance line at 28. So, and that's also perfectly aligned with one of the 1618 retracements from these smaller time frames that I took just from this run to this run. If we continue this trend, would take us up to the 1618, which perfectly aligns with that resistance level that I have. So got some confluences there for a possible trade to make. So I'm watching this very, very carefully, and I'm waiting to see what retracement level we potentially get a bounce from. It could potentially come all the way down to the 200 moving average, and retest the 200, retest this trend line here that I have drawn, and we'd have a lot of confluence there. We'd have a previous support or resistance turn support, we'd have a trend line, we'd have the 200, so we'd have literally 3 confluences there showing that we're going to continue the trend. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for at this point, although I do have to go to bed soon, so most likely I'm probably going to miss the move, sadly. But maybe I'll put a long in and maybe put my stop loss under these and just kind of hope for the best overnight. So that now, let me quickly just jump into the DXY for you guys. And it is looking, we're here on the monthly, so it's a very long time frame. And we did have this trend here that we broke, and we are going up, which is not a good thing for Bitcoin. Monthly, let's go more relevant, would probably be the daily, where again, we're kind of looking at this double top area that we made. We do have no divergence there, unfortunately. I believe on the lower time frame, we do have a divergence right here. Higher high, a lower high in the RSI. I think, no divergence there. So on the short term, we might continue to see some more bullish action for Bitcoin because we did get some, a bearish divergence there, and we're still fighting with this kind of double top resistance. You see we're kind of putzing around it. So it's possible we get rejected, head back down, and that would be very bullish for Bitcoin to kind of continue its little mini run that it's going on right now. As far as Ethereum, as you can see, we had this trend line here. We broke down underneath it and are coming back up, and I think there's a possibility that maybe we get a retest of this trend line. If we get rejected, come back down, then this head and shoulders could actually fully play out, because it definitely has not played out yet. But sometimes that happens. Sometimes it'll come down and then come retrace into the pattern and then still come out, and you could still see that head and shoulders potentially play out. So definitely some things to look for. Again, in the short term, I am looking for long positions. I think Bitcoin is looking extremely bullish at the moment for some upswing. And we did just have a big dump, and 20K is a massive psychological support. I mean, we know about Michael Saylor buying his Bitcoin at 20,000, and that being a key number for Bitcoin. Our previous all-time high was 20K, or around that area, obviously. So we're talking major psychological, major previous all-time high, major level of support. So it's not really surprising at all that we would get a strong bounce. So from here on forward, I am looking for long positions. But again, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Make sure to do your own research. If you want to do some trading, I do have a link to Bybit, and you can use my referral link, which I'll leave in the description, if you want to do some trades. But highly recommend either don't trade at all, just because you will probably lose money, or spend like $5,000. If you're serious about it, spend $5,000 on a school or a online course to learn. Otherwise, you will blow all your money. I have blown lots of money trading. I don't even know why I'm still doing it, but I just really enjoy it. So is what it is. All right, guys, that is all I got for you. And look, we're seeing a little pump there. Oh boy. We'll see. I might be hopping into a long soon. Guys, as always, make sure to save your money, grow your money, and make sure to buy some of that good old Bitcoin, because we all know fiat currency is the ultimate meme coin, and it's eventually going to zero once they turn the money printers back on, which you know they will. It's too tempting not to. Guys, see you on the next one.